You're recording, right, Brian?
Yeah,
Okay. Just
Like,
wanted to
hey.
make sure.
Are we
We are
rolling?
professionals.
Are we rolling?
We are not.
Are we going?
What the hell?
Fucking remarkable.
Hello. I am Matt, the one who knocks. Welcome to Adventures in Aanthara,
Jesus
episode
Christ.
47, the Halloween session of 2023. As you can see, I am Heisenberg. I think like season 2 Heisenberg. I'm not really sure. I also can't really see very much through these sunglasses.
Quick, read
but,
his notes. Read the reflection.
Everybody who is currently a black screen is also in costume, so we're going to reveal them one by one. We also have not seen each other. And the theme of this Halloween episode is villains or bad guys. Or gals, or whatever you choose. So, I'm going to go in order of the round thing on the stream. So, Leah, you're next.
I'm first.
Yep, you're first.
Probably second.
Wow.
Dang.
Okay.
The anti-nature.
I assume this is Cruella de Vil.
It is Cruella de Vil. I thought it'd be the most ironic playing Brightwing.
Yep.
True.
Furthest from nature.
Furthest from the thing.
Let's
You
hope
could
we find
be-
no puppies in this episode.
God, no. We avoid him like the plague.
Okay, amazing. All right, next is Megan.
Oh. Let's go.
I see a black box.
I see a black box.
Oh, my thing's still covered.
You're
Hold
covered?
on. Let me.
You're
Yeah,
covered?
yeah. Hold on.
Again.
Take two.
Oh my
Oh, we
Oh my gosh.
You should have gone last.
Holy
No!
no way!
No! Oh my gosh, it's so good!
It's so spot on. What is
Oh
that?
wow.
God.
The eyebrows.
Holy shit.
Oh my
heck,
gosh. The
Megan?
hat is exactly a hat I would wear.
Yep.
Wow.
The hoodie says California on it.
Amazing.
Those so many layers.
Oh my
I am
gosh.
deceased. so good.
That's
Oh,
really
wow.
funny.
Okay.
Holy shit.
Welcome
Wait,
to this
so-
episode of Adventures in Aanthara.
Yeah. Matt.
True? You wanted to
No,
take it
you
from
gotta
here?
say facts. You gotta say facts.
Facts.
There you go.
Everyone turn my volume up to 125% for the rest of the evening, please.
Okay.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Oh my
That's the
Yeah.
authentic.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
the real villains.
My cheeks already hurt. Okay,
It's gonna be really hard, y'all.
let's move on rapidly from this to Anneka.
Me?
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
Hey!
Okay.
It's me, the Joker.
Mm,
The
that shirt
Joker.
is so perfect. Where did you
That's
get
really
that?
good.
Amazon.
Amazing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the green. I see what
Oh.
you mean by the green hair dye. Yeah.
It's
Aw.
green eyeshadow today, but it works.
It looks great.
Yeah.
Without the
Really
glasses.
Joker's
Messy.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Amazing.
Oh, the
The
eyes
ultimate
are
villain.
terrifying, though.
Yeah, that's a
oh
Yeah.
lot.
That's real
wild.
good.
It's really good.
Can you give us a side to side to get the full mouth makeup?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Damn.
On point. Okay.
Okay.
That's that.
The bar is being set very high for
It is.
Jess.
I'm a little nervous.
Oh my
Oh
god!
my gosh!
Whoa.
Holy mackerel!
Fantastic.
It is Dobby from My Hero.
I was about
Oh
to
my
say, I was like,
Mhm.
this is my
God, I'm gonna
hero
have
Jamie, right?
nightmares.
That is
Damn,
terrifying.
Jess.
That is so horrible. Oh my goodness.
I've been wearing this all day. My coworkers are like,
You had it all day?
All
yeah, I've had
day.
this on all day.
Did you do like
Wow.
video calls and stuff?
Yeah. Well, I did it like with my friends on Discord. So
Oh, that's amazing.
Mm.
Oh,
That's
Damn.
really funny.
Gotcha.
Wow, wow, wow. Okay, Brian, you're bringing us home.
Let's do it. Yeah.
What the fuck?
Is that?
It's the mountain, you guys.
What?
Oh, cliff we climbed.
Oh my gosh! Hold on. How can I make this bigger? Oh, I made it full screen.
Carrying Brightwing.
Oh
my
my
god.
gosh!
We went
What
in so
the
different
fuck?
directions.
It is a villain.
So tell
That's
me,
correct.
Matt, do you think
Wait,
we're gonna
wait.
be the same thing?
Are those like printouts up there?
No, these are pipettes.
Oh my
Oh my
Everybody
gosh!
is made out of.
What do you mean?
Mhm. Yeah, it's here. I can. I can
Team
do it
Not a
with my
Horse,
ring.
also,
Yeah, Team Not a Horse. But-
All bad.
and Brightwing on a string.
I want that. I want it, Brian.
Oh my gosh!
It's a little painful.
Where did you get this mountain?
I work in marketing, dude.
Oh my gosh!
What's going
Best explanation for a
on?
Halloween costume I've ever heard.
Oh,
my God, my
What the
eyes.
fuck?
oh, my face hurts.
Yeah, this is gonna be.
Okay.
We nailed it, gamers.
Oh man.
I'll leave Brightwing there. Also, in case anyone didn't know.
Cliff.
True. Wait, so were all the comments about makeup just to throw people off? Or
No,
me
there's
maybe?
makeup here. This is gray, dude.
Yeah, that's grayed out.
Oh.
Oh, okay, I can't
Yeah.
see when it's that
How
small.
is it attached
And with
to
my
your
sunglasses
face?
on.
Like, what's
You
the
don't
back
want to
of it
see
look
the
like?
backside of this. We'll do that after.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
we'll
It's
do
the
that
Homer
after.
Like a
Simpsons meme
Minecraft
where it's
build.
like everything's fine in the front and there's just a
No
bunch
one
of clips
cares.
in the
Yep.
back.
Yep.
But
It's a lot of duct
no
tape.
hands. That's the important part.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh my gosh. What
That's
a legendary
insane.
setup this
My
is.
eyes. I'm
Okay, well, with all that not out of the way because it's permanently in front of my eyeballs. Previously in Adventures in Aanthara, the Twilight Heralds.
We're about to have the most sad roleplay.
Dude, we're gonna
Yeah,
be sad.
how are we gonna
That's
do
just what it
this?
is right now.
I don't know.
Tracked through the mountains and up a cliff a pair of assassins known as the Umberblade and the Iron Hand, who had taken from his home in Olea Hugo Fournoir, father of Jess, is the character Eclipse, and head of the Lycean Consortium. No one knows why, but the party set out immediately, more or less immediately, to follow them and hopefully catch up to them. And after quite a few trials, including the climbing of this cliff, they arrived at what appeared to be a hideout. Met a young tiefling named Darza, who was initially a guard and then quickly became, at the very most, an acquaintance and potentially an ally. The party, with some insane persuasion rolls, convinced him to leave and learned from him that indeed the Umberblade and the Iron Hand were inside this cavern. And then the party made their way down, set up quite a few pieces of a plan that went somewhat according to itself, which is rare in D&D, but pretty quickly devolved into a full-on brawl between the Twilight Heralds and these two assassins. And after many, many rounds of combat, they were victorious. Faye permanently and angrily slaughtered the Umberblade. And all the party was conscious, if a little bit low on HP. What is happening?
Keep looking over to Brian.
Oh,
It's too
I've
much.
lost everyone.
It's too much.
And then two members of the party made their way down underneath the upper cave where Faye and Sam had previously determined that Hugo was being held. And now Eclipse and Sam unlocked a pair of gates in this cavern beneath the cavern, and indeed found Hugo. And that is where we left off. So, we pick up there. Brightwing, Faye, and Nas, you are up top recuperating as far as I know, so feel free to jump in with anything that you'd like to say or do. Eclipse and Sam, you are down with Hugo, who has just said that he knew Eclipse would come. What would you all like to do?
We need to group up. We can't be away from Faye. They'll find us.
Who will?
I don't know. Anybody? Was anybody watching you? How long have you been here?
That's a long story, potentially. Do we want to gather everyone if that's important?
Yes. We should head back up.
All right. Lead the way.
You found your little... And she kind of gestures orb. The protection thing.
I see.
Yeah. So... We
Resourceful
brought that.
and smart. Well done. He follows you too.
We'll head back up to everybody.
Sam is
Sam.
still, yeah.
Yeah. What are you doing?
I think by the time she walks over to the tables on the far corner of that dungeon, with the intention to rummage through them, by the time she actually reaches the table, the sheer exhaustion and pain finally hit her. And that screaming noise in her head just becomes too overwhelming. And she just hits the table with her hands on it and just shakily tries to get her bearings, but can't. Just overcome with pain and tiredness, I think she finally begins to lose that grasp on not blacking out and just crumples in front of the table and just loses it.
Okay.
Just blacks out right there.
Okay. Eclipse. You saw Sam enter the area behind that second gate where your father had been as he came out. And as you two converse and then you turn to go, you notice she has not come back. Do you want to do anything or do you want to leave her to her whatever?
I'm guessing
she's
I
doing?
heard the slam on the table.
You probably heard like a slump or a thump. She's kind of around the corner. Probably just out of your eye line.
Sam? Go ahead and head up the stairs. It's fine. Nothing's up there. But I'm gonna go get her.
All right.
Make sure you go out. She kind of calculates in her head just out the door that's already open. Just in case.
Understood.
And I
Pads
will
away.
go check on Sam. See if she's
Okay.
all good.
Are you conscious, Sam?
I think this is when she starts to lose consciousness.
Okay. Eclipse, roll a insight and a medicine check and tell me the numbers for each.
Okay. Insight is atrocious. a character sheet up. I did not. Here we go. So the insight is a 10, and the medicine is a dirty 20.
Okay. With that medicine check, as you come up, you see her essentially slumped in a chair onto this table. Breathing, certainly, but somewhat raggedly and heavily. And you see sweat that you guys did just participate in a battle, but it was quick, and she didn't. It looks like the color is gone from her skin to a degree. She looks severely torn up.
Okay.
You do know that she was knocked out and came back a few times in the battle, so it's possible that there could be some of that, but it's hard to tell. And it looks like she's basically fading on the edge of consciousness, like eyes almost lolling. She does not seem well.
Can I pick her up?
Sam?
I think as you try to reach down for her, she just wildly, with whatever's around her, tries to like slam it into you. Like, defensive attack on you.
Roll an attack. With your dex. This is...
I mean, it's
Okay,
technically an
improvised
unarmed because I
weapon.
wasn't like...
Well, are you picking up a
Whatever.
book, or are you just swinging?
If there's a book on the table, I'll swing the book.
Yeah, there are.
Okay. Attack with my dex. That's 17.
I'll just
Eclipse.
take it. I just
Okay.
let her swing.
Okay. I'll say roll a d4.
4.
Ha! Okay. You take 4 damage.
Okay.
And the swing is wild and seems less like intent to harm you and more like lack of control.
I think once it hits and she kind of lets it impact as hard as she needs it to, she just kind of sits there. Sam?
It doesn't seem like she can hear you.
Okay.
Just sitting there half slumped, turned slightly from the swing, but just like slumps back into the table.
I think I'll still try to pick her up, regardless. Kind of like
Okay.
fighting a toddler at this point.
Yeah, are you going to
Yeah.
try to resist?
She's resisting.
Okay,
Yeah,
roll an
that's fair.
acrobatics check and Eclipse roll an athletics check.
It's a natural one.
And it's a natural 20, so...
There you go.
Damn! The dice
She's like
have spoken.
trying to swing and pull her
Yeah.
way out, but she's just so fucking exhausted.
Yeah.
I think she'll try to pick you up, kind of, I guess, princess style? She's trying, and then if that doesn't work, she just grabs you by the waist and just kind of carries you out while you're flailing randomly, just keeping you facing outward,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and just letting you
think
tire yourself out again.
Yeah, it becomes more of like slung over the shoulder,
Yeah.
and you still feel her attempting to lash out, but weakened and continually weakening.
So I'll carry
The
her
rest of you,
upstairs to the healer. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's the point.
the rest of you, as you're sitting up there, see Hugo eventually come around from down below in the area where the crumbled dragon statue is, and he sees all you up there. And the dead form of the Iron Hand on the ground stops like 15 feet away. You You ended them, then.
We nearly didn't.
Is everybody all right?
On the outside.
Fair enough.
Are you alright? Do you need healing or?
On the outside, I am well enough. Well, I'll wait. And he'll clamber up with you guys. You see, maybe a little bit surprising based off what you've seen from him in your interactions, because he's is very bookish. Does not have the physique that Eclipse does, or even Luna. But you do see like a little bit of that pantherkin tabaxi grace as he pulls himself up, sits down next to you. Then a minute passes, and Eclipse comes around the bend carrying Sam.
If he sits down kind of next to me,
Mm-hmm.
like kind of where Naz is, I might just kind of lean into him a little bit and see just to see what he does, but also just like a natural, like, okay, this is here now. It's like the physical reassurance of it.
You feel an initial tensing, and Brightwing, probably with your passive perception and insight, you would see like a look of surprise, and then that pretty quickly is replaced by kind of a loosening, a sigh, and he puts a big arm around you in a very fatherly way.
Yeah.
And then Eclipse and Sam show up.
I'm guessing still down, because I don't know anything about that other door. I'm just operating on the one that's open.
Yes, so you're down below.
Just kind of look up. She's not doing great. I'm just kind of holding Sam.
Okay.
I think
I'll throw the
this-
seed.
Yeah, I think this entire time, Brightwings has probably been like completely laying on top of Yasnip, exhausted and stuff. But hearing that like she's not doing well, she's immediately up and goes down to meet you.
Okay. Do you put her down?
Yeah, I'll probably rest her against the rock wall. Just
Okay.
kind of let her sit up.
Brightwing, I'll have you roll an insight and medicine check as well.
She's a little erratic, so careful touching her. Although I think she's tired out now.
So one was a 17, one was a 16, both with a modifier of 8.
Okay. Okay. You get two things primarily. One, physically, she is wrecked. And a lot of that certainly comes from the fact that she was just in combat and knocked unconscious several times.
Yeah.
Basically yo-yoed back and forth between life and death. But you see more than that, and there's like what looks almost to be more of a cold sweat and almost a trembling. And with your insight check, the way that she's curled up and like gritted, it looks like a person with a broken mind.
Okay. So I don't think I have the spell that I would need. So what I am going to do at second level, I'll cast Cure Wounds, but like on the head. Well, yeah, I'll cast Cure Wounds on the head and see where that gets us.
Okay. Roll your healing. What are the rest of you doing?
It was probably about a minute or two after Eclipse and Sam left that Nas, after putting his glove back on, would turn into Yasna.
Okay.
But really, after Brightwing gets up and goes away, he's just kind of sitting there looking at his hand, still in his manifestation.
Okay.
That'd be 23 points of healing.
Wow.
Wow. I'm almost
Oh.
at full.
At second level?
That's right. I did a third level
Oh.
because I rolled 3d8s and not a second
Okay.
level. So it's a third level Cure Wounds for you.
Thank you.
I got the spell slots. It's fine.
You see her, some of her wounds and bruises and scrapes fade or heal, but the tension and the seemingly disconnected recklessness does not.
Okay. With that, she's gonna go to her herbalist kit and start to take out herbs that is like a calming tonic, one that you would use
Okay.
for like a sleep aid, stuff like that. And she will whip that up as fast as she can to help.
Okay, let me ask you this. Are you going for, like, some mild store-bought sleepy time tea, or are you going for, like, a fat dose of melatonin, try
That
to knock
dose
somebody
of
out?
melatonin.
Nice.
Okay. Okay.
Because
All right.
she realized she can't do what she needs to do with the spell she has prepared, but she can calm her down with.
Okay. I will have you roll a wisdom check and add your
Okay.
proficiency bonus.
Okay. Three plus 5, so 8. 23. No,
23.
24.
24. Okay.
Really well.
Roll a d4 for me.
A 4.
Okay. And how are you intending to get this to her? Because she is not willing to engage right now, it seems.
I would like to cast Fast Friends.
Okay, which does what exactly?
So it's a wisdom saving throw. Not wisdom.
Oh.
Yes? Is it wisdom?
I don't know.
Wisdom. It is a wisdom save. And when you get the need to make sure something gets done, you can't rely on.
It undertakes to perform any services or activities you ask of it in a friendly manner to the best of its ability.
Yeah.
Okay.
Drink the fucking tea.
Wow.
Basically what I'm
Okay.
gonna ask.
Roll a wisdom saving throw, Sam.
I would have to roll really high to fail. I really had to succeed. And that's a natural 18 for a 16.
Oh. Meets it, beats it. It's a 16 save.
wow.
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 You don't have disadvantage, do you?
Oh, I do have disadvantage. Wait,
Okay.
but I have advantage.
Oh, you do. So it's a straight roll. Yep. Okay. So
Yeah,
you
let's
cast
share.
a spell, and you see her form for a moment relax and then tighten back up again, and she seems inconsolably a mess. You might have to force this onto her if you want her to drink it. Or cast the spell again if you want. if
I
you have a
am
spell
at
slot.
a third level spell slots.
Okay,
so
not
I
that then.
cannot cast it.
I could try.
We just need to drink it.
I know.
Okay.
Hold it up to her. And I'll command her to drink.
Shit.
Ooh, what's the save?
It's a wisdom save again. I'm not going to use charisma because then she would take the damage.
Okay.
Okay.
Straight roll again.
Natural 16 for a 14.
There it is.
Yes.
Okay. You, Sam, don't even feel or recognize this happening, but you all see her hand go up trembling. Like, full on withdrawal shakes. Takes it, gulps it down, probably burns her throat in the process. And then shakes the spell free and scoots away a little bit.
Probably just
But-
throws the cup, whatever it is.
Shatters it. You're one mug down.
Oh, that's okay. My ladybug.
Okay.
No.
But you know she's
She can
taking
fix
it.
it. Pick up the pieces. She'll fix it when she's in her right mind.
True. Okay. Do you want to leave her to the side? What do you guys want to do?
I think after having been jostled and like required to do something, Faye is in the mood to like be out of this place. So she's gonna like kind of pat Hugo's hand and like stand up and start going through the pockets of these guys.
Okay. Anyone else doing anything else in particular? I will say that Sam is not like actively trying to attack anybody. She just seems lost within herself.
I feel like she'd want to know what was going on.
How much of the paperwork downstairs do we need to take with us?
All of
All of it?
How much is there?
So quite a lot.
Oh no, he's muted.
talking.
He's not muted. He's not.
There you go.
Oh, your thing's going weird.
We've lost him.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
no.
No,
no.
no. It's okay. I'll take over from here.
That's
Yeah.
true. We have backup, Matt.
We got the backup.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to ping him. He's not looking. He's not listening. Matt.
Matt. Oh, he's fucking with Cancun now. Oh no.
Oh,
It's a
no.
tragedy.
Oh no.
Right, pull right wing up. Intermission.
Oh, we gotta get her. We gotta get. Oh, we're getting her. We're getting
We're
her.
getting her up.
She's going.
Oh, we're going.
Ah!
Oh my god.
Just
that's
one
so-
quick tug and that's the nat 20.
Yep.
Put
We did
it.
it. We did it. She's fine.
Okay, I can hear you now. Can you
And
hear
we
me?
fixed it. Let's go.
Okay, right, we can go back down now.
Oh, no.
Ah, the trauma.
I'm
All right.
reliving it.
I think he's back. It's frozen.
Oh yeah, can you
Guys,
hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
we can hear you.
Your camera's
Okay.
frozen.
Okay.
So,
No.
Is it?
No.
it is for me.
Okay.
Oh, I think
But
you're
if it's not
echoing.
for you guys.
All right, let me try to get this in here one more time. Otherwise, we might just go without it. Freaking Kanku.
I
Yeet.
think Kenku's eating your computer, bro.
Well, I can still hear you. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
The sound on that.
All right, I'm just gonna trust that it might come back.
That's pretty great.
If not, oh well.
Matt, are you echoing?
Someone's
Uh,
echoing.
I don't think so.
Oh, it's
Hello?
Meg.
A little
It's
bit. It's
not.
okay.
I'm muted.
No, I think
No, it's through your
coming
Discord.
through your headphones and then going into your mic.
We'll figure
Oh
it out.
yeah.
Is
Do you
your
have the
mic
extend a mic?
clear?
Oh, yeah. Let's try
There
to
you
pull
go.
it back out a little bit.
There you go.
Well, my headphones aren't full sealed to my head because of the damn hat, so
Mm.
Blame
I think it'll
Matt.
be okay.
I will
I may am blaming Matt.
There
Blame
you go.
Matt.
Pilot mode.
Pilot mode do be working.
All right. Where were we?
The question was, is there a lot of paperwork down there? How much is there?
Yes, there are books, scrolls, old documents. I don't know how many, maybe 100. And we need them all back.
Will they fit in a...
Some didn't come from the consortium, but some did, and we need to get them back to where they belong.
All fit in the bag of holding? Or do we have to carry a trunk?
That I don't know. We can try.
I mean, we did grab some of the stuff that you left behind. So,
What do you mean?
the bookcase.
I see. You have it on you?
Yeah, it's in the bag. So, okay, and I can't stress this enough, need to stick together. Because if they're watching, they won't see us. And we were too far apart most of the time, so.
I think we need to know. Hugo, do you know why you were kept here?
Do we have some time?
That's what we're trying to figure out. If they were waiting to bring somebody to you, we need to get
No.
the fuck out of here.
I don't believe so. He takes a deep breath and kind of sits up a little bit into more of his like professional posture as opposed to being slumped in the aftermath of all this. Kind of brushes off his clothes. I believe they brought me here to research. They have collected lore, history, philosophy, scientific theories. The paper trail down there is wide, but directed, and they gave me instruction. They want to know things, they want answers. Whoever it is above them, obviously. He nods towards the figures. They don't care.
I mean, we may be able to provide some insight there.
On?
There was a student of the academy who helped get them into your office. We were there at the door when you were taken. We were so close. Eclipse's friend Remy was able to do some magical forensic work with the help of her mother, and we were able to pinpoint this exact student based on the traces of Arca. After a very intense interrogation, we were able to get a name.
He
A ringleader.
kind of lowers his head expectedly.
Adrexia Greaves.
You see another deep breath. This one he holds. That can't be right. Who was this student? How do you know he's telling the truth?
He was under compulsion. I was also reading his mind at the time that he told me.
A Drakkar of the Archesian Order. That... He seems almost at a loss for words for several moments. Do you know if she knows?
That's why we found that. No point at Faye.
You all are resourceful, no doubt. I can't even begin to pretend to know the right path if someone like that is hunting.
You give any semblance, idea, theory. Why?
I think I can. That's tied to what's down below, if we have time here. I have notes.
I
Are we
think we need
staying?
to know what we're doing next first.
Then this might be valuable to that. Just based on the way that I was brought and the way they've treated me since, I don't get the sense anyone else is coming here. I think this is a holding spot for me, among other things. So if we can take a bit of time.
I think Eclipse is going to climb up the cliff if we're not already all together. I'm going to take the Lifelight amulet. I'm going to put it on him.
Okay.
Mom gave me this. I told her I'd put it on you if we found you.
What does it do?
It'll tell her you're alive if you attune to it. It won't tell her, but will tell her that it's your heartbeat.
He just nods slowly.
I don't think we need to tell anyone else. I think just her, and she needs to keep that a secret.
On that, you will hear no argument from me. If a Drakkar is bent on using me to her purposes, I would rather stay unseen as long as possible.
I'll kind of gesture to Faye and Brightwing. Brightwing, you're muted. Yeah, I think. I don't know if either of you can do what you do. If we need more time, we can wait. But
I could do what I've just done to Sam again, and that's about it.
Okay.
Speaking of which, you all at that glance over briefly and see that Sam is knocked out. Sam.
Okay.
Yes.
You had a small moment of like a pinhole window of clarity right before you fell asleep, as the tea seemed to set in, where you saw everyone up on the platform.
I was
talking.
staying with her.
Okay, everyone but Brightwing, who was down with you, saw Brightwing near you, and then just faded complete blackness. And you regained 3 points from that tea.
Nice.
I don't know what they do, but that sounds great.
It's fantastic,
It
guys.
restores the mental state, and that's really what we want right now.
Yes. Yes.
Can we leave her there, or do we need to bring her down?
I'll carry her.
We're not
We need
leaving
to stay together.
anyone anywhere.
All right.
Did I find anything? I had been
Oh,
pocketing.
yeah. While during the conversation, you've been picking through.
Mhm.
Okay.
Well, and before when they were doing the tea thing too.
Yeah. You find a few things. You find a highly polished circlet of dark metal that is reflective, almost a mirror that is on Jet or the Umber Blade's head. That's a circlet of counterspell. You also find on Jet a deep onyx ring that seems to swallow light and feels oddly cold to the touch. That is a dusk ring. One word. There are 2 sickles, which now that you're out of battle and have a moment to observe, one has what appear to be these slight darkish green veins through the metal, which is also very dark. And the other has faint wisps of black mist that sort of trail off it as you pick it up and move it. Both blades of a very dark metal. And you also find a greater healing potion on Jet, which he never got a chance to use.
Well,
Ours now.
On Flint, or the Iron Hand, you notice
choo choo.
a potion of healing and a short, dark metal stake that is hollowed at one end that looks very familiar to you, Faye.
Ah.
Did you describe what happened to the other one?
No. And in this moment of finding this second one, I will say you notice, or maybe you notice, but others notice, that... Who was around for that? Sam was up? Okay. I think Brightwing and Nas were both down below.
Yeah, everyone else was
Yeah, the
away.
rest of
It was
us
just
were
us two.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
'Cause I had to
So,
scramble up
Sam,
there.
you would have seen this as well. Faye and Sam. When she stabbed it into the Umber Blade several times and then they fell to the ground, it stayed there for a few seconds and then just crumbled like into ash.
I think we need to get rid of this knife, y'all.
That's what you find on their forms.
What did you call it?
What did I call what?
Soul shear?
Soul shear.
Yes, it's a soul shear. All one word.
Yee.
That bitch gotta go.
Yeah,
Break
let's.
it.
I got stone shape. We'll just hide it forever.
No. We melted.
Better reuse it.
Or we use it.
Damn.
On Drexia.
The dark
It'd
ladies.
be metal as fuck.
Ooh, we use it.
Oh,
I have the evil
Um,
mustache on tonight, guys. I had to,
True.
channel the.
We are villains. I mean,
Also, I will say, for you, Faye,
it's so crazy when you did that.
so damn perfect.
you
Sometimes
did
you and your
notice-
character are one.
You did notice several chests inside that room that you went into that you haven't had a chance to look through, so there might be other stuff. But that's what you find on their forms.
Good.
You guys...
I
Go
look
ahead.
specifically at the things in their chests. Like on their person, their chest, the thing that Jet was hitting multiple times.
So you don't see that on the Iron Hand, on the Iron Hand. You do see a thing built into the chest of the Ember Blade. What are you trying to glean?
I want to see if either I can get it off of him or destroy it.
He's not oh.
Roll. I will say roll. This is going to be a straight intelligence check because this is basically a science check.
Oh, this is great. I can't read my dice.
What's Yas's
15.
hearing skill?
15.
I'm sorry, 14. I don't have a +1 to general checks. 14.
You don't?
Well, I have the luck stone, but that's only to skill checks, not...
Okay.
Don't
Not
you have the
ability
primer?
checks?
Is the primer...
The primer's Arcana and Investigation.
Okay.
Okay. 14 is still decent. What you can make out in a brief investigation is that it seems to be almost like a modification or a module that is built into the Umberblade's form that enabled them to... It's not, from what you can gather, it wasn't like activating a spell. It was just creating an effect. Magical still, but controlled through this spell tech. You would actually know that word, which is the fusion of magic and science that is primarily championed by Kathos in particular. You could not really get it out. I mean, you could just tear pieces of it apart, basically. But you could not get it out in a functional sense, I guess is what I would say. And you could certainly, like, just annihilate it, like, beat it to bits. But you also do get the sense that it is very specifically built into the Umberblade in such a way that it's not like something you can pick up and attach to somebody else and it will work.
I'd look to the group and just... If it's alright with you guys, I think it's best that this is taken off the table. In case it's ever recovered and could be modified. I'd rather know that somebody doesn't have this ability.
Yeah, it was really damn obnoxious.
And I'll just start wailing on it.
Okay. I won't have you roll.
Until I feel like it's...
Yeah. You're able to destroy it. It's just shattered in pieces. There are wires and metal that is bent or crushed or broken to a point you feel confident it will never function. Incidentally, nobody, since Sam was the only one to witness, Faye, what you did, I think, no one else who's currently awake, except for you, knows that he is... I mean, you don't even actually technically know that, because you don't know what this item does. So I won't even say anything.
Megan knows, but... Well, okay, but... The logic train that I followed was... This thing was stuck in my chest. These people are known to have murdered people to the point where they were unable to be resurrected.
That is fair. If you feel that Faye would put those pieces together, I will not make you roll or anything. You can just know
Faye is intelligent and proficient in Arcana.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like she would, especially, like, has been the focus for so long. I think that she was probably looking exactly for that item, and especially having seen the other one.
Okay. All right. Hugo stands up. We can try to make this as quick as possible.
Let's do it.
All right. You all head down. Except for Sam. Brightwing, do you want to stay with Sam? Okay, you're going to carry her?
We're not leaving. We're not.
Okay.
I cannot.
This
I
is
will not
much
abide.
easier. You're able to
Yeah.
carry her form pretty easily down. She is slumped asleep.
I'll probably check with Brightwing, make sure she's not getting injured as I'm carrying her. Just having her, like, tell me the best way to hold her and how not to move her and things like that.
Okay. All right, so the rest of you now who have not been down here see this. Large open cavern seems to go further deep into the mountain than even what was above it by a good amount. The first area of it almost seems to be like a training ground or an area where the assassins might just exercise, essentially, work on their talents. But you go through the second gate and there is a back area. There are several barrels of supplies that are just like living supplies. And this nook, everything you see on the map is there. There is actually a small rock fireplace next to what is a hastily thrown together and clearly not very comfortable, but serviceable cot or bedroll. And then a couple tables, and several shelves of books and scrolls and varying levels of age. You see things that look like they might be a few hundred years old. Some are scattered across the tables, and there is ink and quill, and it looks like a study area, really. And Hugo sits down in one of the chairs, motions to the others. If we can take a moment to breathe, and then we'll pack it all up. But I'll share what I know, or what I can. I believe these figures were the ones we had seen around the consortium. Those dodgy shadowed figures that Luna mentioned. I believe they were gathering information, gathering these, and he nods at several of the pieces of paperwork, and scouting the consortium and me, most likely. Possibly also Luna, the guard. They were planning this for some time, I imagine, but we weren't able to get enough of a bead on them. And then, that night, I was in my office, and a portal opened. I'm sorry. That's Matt was saying. My door opened, which is not typical, to put it mildly. And they entered. I didn't have time to react. Not that I would have been able to do anything anyways. And they knocked me out as far as I know. And the next thing I know, I awoke. Nearly, I don't know, I would put it at a couple weeks ago, perhaps. It's difficult to tell. There's no day or night down here. We've been here for a few days, a week. I can't be sure. But when I awoke, I was bound and more or less a passenger to the large one. And they were moving constantly. It was exhausting, and I wasn't even moving my legs. They did not treat me like an enemy. They treated me relatively with indifference. And then we arrived here, and they locked me down here, and this was all set up. They added a few that they had gathered from, I assume, this last trip, but most of it was here. And they told me to research. They told me to research magic, its sources, its history, theories on it, and in particular, the postulations about magic in the Elder Age. Histories of magic that tied to that time. And they wanted me to find information on the Elder Relics. I didn't know what else to do. I assumed that I would be in danger, at the very least, if I didn't acquiesce. So I've been researching, more or less non-stop outside of meals, which have been sparse but good enough. Again, I think they intend to keep me here for some time and wanted me functional. And I've found quite a lot. What they've gathered here is a very focused and widespread, honestly, likely the most complete collection of works, papers, books on these subjects that has ever been assembled. Not many people think about this kind of thing very often. Many of what they've gathered came from the consortium, but some came from Ristia and elsewhere. I don't know why, but that's what they wanted from me. Does that make any sense to you?
That's what that kid wanted. The one that got
You
you
keep-
in, or got them in.
Do we know this person? You've mentioned
Cyrus
him now a couple
Nichols?
times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That name's
Hey.
not ring a bell.
What exactly are the Elder Relics?
Alright. This, I think, means we're okay staying here for perhaps a few hours, if that's alright.
Can anybody check? She
mean,
just
I
kind of does
Go
this.
outside. Or you mean in here?
I mean, in here. I don't know if they've been watching him and him disappearing. Because we're in here with that. I'm just sure if I don't know if that's gonna trigger anything. I mean, they've basically already seen us get him out, but I don't know what we're dealing with.
If they were watching at that exact moment, you were only down here for a moment. If they had any reason to be watching, it didn't. I don't know.
I think if anything, they may have a tie. If we want to be skeptical. If they had a way to track when Flint and Jet died, that would be one of the only real indicators. If we're worried about that, then maybe we should try to pack up and go and have the conversation later, but we still don't know where we're going, what we're doing.
I will offer this, and again, I feel you may know more of the externals of this situation than I do. But if somebody had a system to be notified if they died, that kind of person would have the capability to show up here in an instant. And the fact that they haven't suggests they will not, because it will take, I don't know how long to get up here. I don't know where in the mountains we are, but I can't imagine less than a few days.
We are not... I mean... I saw you. As they took you from that room, I saw you slumped over their shoulder. And we were familiar. You were wearing one of those circlets that we told you about, those stasis circlets. We've studied those. 7 days. 7 days is what that gets you. And we've followed their trail right into the mountains, but we need sleep, and I don't know if or what or how much they do. So, by our calculations, we were only 4 or 5 days behind you, but it's been, what, 3 weeks?
Nearly, it would seem.
I feel if someone like them were following us, they would have caught up to us. Coming from Leah, at least. I don't know that it would be safe to return you to Leah at this point. I will ask. The research that they have gathered, it seems incredible. Is that something that you wish to pursue for your own interests? You said you've never seen a collection like this amassed, or is this, does it feel wrong?
I don't know what they intend to do with this knowledge. But what I do know is that it could, if in the hands of the right person, or the wrong person, as it were, grant terrible power. I imagine that's why they seek it, among other things. As far as where to go, again, that's not something I think I might need time to think on that. If I go back to Leah, I would likely need to speak to someone at the academy about a powerful arcane guard. No disservice to Luna or you, daughter. But if the type of person you've named is seeking me, the type of defense I will need is something else. If I go elsewhere, perhaps it will be more difficult to find me, though likely not for someone like that. Perhaps something to sleep on before deciding. But I can share what I've gained. You asked about the Elder Relics. Looks at you, Naz. No one thinks much about these kinds of things anymore. That's why they're called relics. But legends and some more concrete histories tell of items or artifacts crafted long ago in the Elder Age. Likely, most believe, or the theory is at least, created by the Elders and infused with modicums of their power, and then granted to their champions among mortals in the Dragon War and possibly elsewhere. The histories on them are sparse and scattered, and mostly buried in long discarded lore. Again, they're not things often thought about. Some have garnered more attention more recently, and I've learned much of that through this research. But they've been long lost for a variety of good reasons. There are 6 of them. The first is called Otiradon, which, from what I've gathered, comes from the Elder tongue and means star spear. And he, at this point, is like pulling pieces of parchment that you can see how have been heavily notated on, and like gathering them and laying them out, and then referencing them as he does this. You can tell that he's gathered all of this information from what's around him. It is rumored to be a spear made of space rock and metal, whatever that means, possibly from some celestial body crashed to the face of Fainir. Infused with stardust, believed, or so the records and lore would suggest, to grant unnatural strength to the bearer, make them seemingly immovable, except by their own will, and allow them in some capacity, and I could not get much in the way of details on this, but allow them to wield the power of the cosmos. It, from what I've found, was last wielded by a Khaithian warrior, a human man named Karthus Starspear, after the name of the weapon, I assume. And he was part of an adventuring group not unlike yours. A party of Antharans, most known for helping win the War of Ashes by sealing the abyssal rift in Kathos long ago. Years after the war, in the beginning of the Quiet Millennium, Karthus and his party reportedly lost a crushing defeat in a battle against some ancient terror in the Aristine Gulf. And they were able to escape with their lives, but lost the Star Spear. And notedly, they all seemed to fade into obscurity soon after, amid rumors of broken minds. The second is called Ventrasil, or, from the translations I've gathered, Windwalker boots. Made from the silk of a long extinct creature that somehow feature the suppleness and lightness of silk while also being tough like leather. Believed to grant unnatural grace and speed to the bearer. Grant them an uncanny ability to avoid danger, and allow them to essentially dance through battlefields. The stories of warriors wielding them are more art than anything else. It was once worn by the first ancestor of the elves, according to legend, and was long ago the inheritance of the former ruling dynasty of Sildari. Passed down the familial line before disappearing around 500 years ago somewhere in the Valrea forest, with what is believed to be the death of the last vestige of that line. The Velkarion line, if you don't know the history. Third is called Mundunir. Mountain Heart Belt. Made from, it would seem, the metal from the core of an ancient volcano laced with veins of fire. Believed to grant unnatural resilience to the bearer, make them incredibly difficult to bring down, and allow them to wield the fury of the roiling mountain's core. It was long maintained by a tribe of Goliath in the Fallspine in Vordan, known as fearsome warriors that often did battle as both allies and enemies of the dwarves of the region. And according to record, the tribe fought with Vordan against Sildari during the War of Spark and Stone, but were systematically wiped out during mountain campaigns by the Sildarians, and the belt was never found. It was over 2 millennia ago. The fourth is called Naceris, the Springbringer Ring. Elegant, made from petrified wood interwoven with the undying petals of an ancient flower. Believed to grant unnatural wisdom to the bearer, enable them to control the elements themselves, and allow them to see through veils otherwise shrouded to both the eye and the heart. It was long worn by an unfathomably old Kalashtar druid named Soraya, who once roamed the continents of Faenir over a millennium ago, healing the earth, fighting back curses, advising rulers. Stories say the last time she was seen on Aanthara, she was boarding a ship out of Nisari en route to southern Mistelion, where she disappeared from record. The fifth is called Zeraxia, Circlet of the Unbound Mind. Intricate circlet made from pure diamond that glitters internally with a prismatic rainbow of light. Those who witnessed it say it was the most beautiful thing they've ever seen. Believed to grant unnatural intelligence to the bearer, sharpness of mind, giving them an impenetrable defense of their psyche, and allowing them to use that mind to control the world around them. This was perhaps the most widely known of the relics. It was last in the possession of one of the most powerful arcanists of the late Quiet Millennium, a mousefolk man named Archmage Mordecai Martell. He famously left mainland Aanthara around 2650 to seemingly retire on the Isle of Asirna in the Ovestian Sea. And over the next couple hundred years, treasure hunters, adventurers, power mongers, wizards, sorcerers, historians, and more have traveled to the Isle in search of Martell and the Circlet. None have ever returned. And eventually it was established and believed that the Isle or the seas around it were cursed, and few have ventured there in the centuries since. And the last is called Amiranai, the Cape of Eternal Bloom. A cape seemingly made from some of the finest cloth in existence at the time, likely beyond the make of anyone in modern Aanthara. Designed and patterned like 1,000 flower petals overlaid over each other in a sea of flowing color. And records suggest that the colors changed depending on who wore it, as if they could alter it at will. Believed to grant unnatural charisma to the bearer, make them nearly irresistibly compelling, and allow them to sway the very fabric of reality. It seemed to pass from hand to hand over the course of centuries and millennia after the reclaiming, cropping up in stories and songs every couple hundred years. Usually borne by some revolutionary thinker, legendary bard, charismatic political leader. The stories of its passage from person to person are as varied as its journey across Vanir. Murders, marriages, wagers, treaties. And the last known bearer was Talia Giordana, the unbelievably wealthy Air Genasi matriarch of the Giordana family, owners of most of the grandest real estate in places of leisure and pleasure in Kathos, and particularly in the city of Restalios, where they are headquartered. No one has, to my knowledge or any of these records, sought any of these relics for hundreds of years. At least not the ones that have been lost. But they are, without doubt, if they exist, which I've seen enough to know when something is exaggerated by legend and when something is recorded in enough different places by different people to determine that it is true. I believe them to be real. And I believe that whoever, well, grieves, if she is indeed the one behind this, is seeking them now. As for the rest, I assume most of you know general theory on the sources of magic.
He had caught cliff notes from Remy.
Boo!
Wow. Wow. It was so subtle that I didn't even notice it was there. I'm gonna take psychic damage as the DM.
I don't remember the measuring cup.
That was a detail that I missed.
The current understandings, I'll try to summarize, are that the sources of magic are essentially fourfold. Divine, clerics and paladins often gain access through divine blessing granted as a reward for devotion. He glances at Brightwing. natural. Most druids, rangers, sorcerers, and bards, glances at you, Faye, are able to access naturally occurring wisps of Arca through unique and rarely attuned connections with creation, beauty, power, whatever that may manifest as for them. Learned, that would be the method for wizards and the artificers of Kathos. They learn to tap into the general arc of the world through careful study of the patterns and laws that it follows, and accordingly establish systems for future access based on that knowledge. And then there is general others. Those usually who gain a connection through some magical being of a higher power, but lower than a god. Warlocks, other less common casters, beings that unlock and provide an access to these casters. But there do exist theories, some more recent that oddly coincide with some much more old, that while those are all channels or methods by which access to magic is gained, they are not actually the source or wellspring of Arca itself. And in search of those sources, many have looked to the Elder Age, when gods weren't providing magic to the world, but the elders were still drawing on and shaping it. These theorists believe it is possible the elders somehow distilled or localized Arca into accessible sources, and that those have maintained themselves through the millennia. From the research that I've done here, which might again be the most compiled on this subject that has ever been done, there seem to almost be personifications to this localized Arca, as if beings or bastions of pure Arca existed that had will. Again, all of this is theory, postulation, some very old, some newer, but from thinkers that would be considered on the fringe, or perhaps the cutting edge, depending on how you look at it. I believe your friend might be one of these, looking at you, Eclipse. Whatever they are, if they even exist, the fact that someone is seeking an understanding of them, and in particular if that someone is a arcanist of the power of Adrexia Greaves, if they could find, acquire, wield, control these sources, the power they would have would be theoretically otherworldly. Perhaps impossible to resist. If it helps, none of those two, neither of them ever came to inspect my work. I doubt they would understand it if they did. So unless this area is being watched, those who seek this information may not have it. And I would say, given the nature of Brightwing's resting ability, and the fact that it's been, I think, about an actual in-game half hour, because it's been about an IRL half hour, Sam, your eyes would flutter open around this time. With 3 points, and now down again where you left.
Just kind of reorient myself. Everyone magically appeared and is just like fine and talking.
Probably would have set her down in one of the chairs nearby.
I'm assuming we were all back kind of where the books were.
Yeah, you're sort of gathered in that area. I would say, given the fact that she was sleeping, you probably would have set her up on that rug.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
taken
hell
the chairs.
yeah.
So, yeah.
All cozy in the rug. Nice.
Comfy.
All comfy. What's going on?
Hey, how you doing?
I assume my head is still terrible.
It is. It is not quite as bad as it was, but it is... What you had been experiencing was beyond anything that we, IRL, would ever experience. Now it is the worst migraine that we would ever experience.
Just immediately, like, hands on the temples, trying to focus through it, but is still struggling like crazy to get any sort of, like, logical bearing.
Brightwing, are you still there, by the way?
Yeah, I'm just on my phone.
Okay. With your passive abilities and with your roll from before, you see, like, glassy-eyed, again, that cold sweat still. She's not, like, as uncontrollably balled up in whatever it was, but does not look good still.
She looks, like, beyond irritated, like, for someone who's been dealing with a headache for hours, just still inconsolable about her pain right now, but is conscious.
I think, right, we would simply just go to where you are and be like, I know it is your mind that is pained. I can make you another draft if you would like to help ease.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be... Fuck. She just, like, both hands on the head, just sits back.
Do you want this as strong as the previous one? Or would you like to continue to stay conscious?
I think
Incidentally, you don't even remember drinking a previous draft.
What are you talking about?
You are, primal in your, instincts. Hostile to even us.
Which is fine.
And you were paying beyond reason with your mind.
Yeah, no shit.
I thought it best. I'm sorry I could not ask permission.
Just, if you have something that could help, just make it.
I might have something. I don't have it prepared today. That might help tomorrow. But for now, I could just make another draft. Just not as strong.
Yeah, I don't want to go unconscious again. Thanks.
Okay. And I'll make another one that's like, take half the sleeping pill.
Okay. Okay.
At a full trazodone.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
want a Benadryl, not like 500
Yep, yep.
milligrams of melatonin.
I will maintain your previous roll, so you're able to make that without a problem.
Sweet.
And you can sip it as you wish, Sam.
Mm-hmm.
So. If you guys think it's safe, I guess we could just rest here.
I think your dad's right. I think if someone was going to pop in and sneak up on us, they'd have done it by now.
I think I'm just paranoid.
Should we go get Edgeworth?
I was about to say.
You could tell us if anyone's seen anything.
God. You watch her go through like the 6 stages of grief all over again. She's like, fuck.
I think one of the next trainings is going to have to be if we're gone for more than 30 minutes, we're probably dead.
Yeah, we'll coordinate that. Okay. Man, he's gonna be so Okay.
You
He
could
might
still
be asleep.
have Hugo go outside first.
Okay. She kind of cringes thinking about it.
Like,
All right.
hey, Dad, we've got a pet plant.
So
Tell you
Dad,
what, and I will head out.
Are you gonna be Hugo?
No, I'm popping out Ted,
Oh.
Oh my god, fucking
and I'll have Ted fly up to the entrance and peek to see if he can see Edgeworth.
Yes, he can.
Okay, what is he doing?
What is Edgeworth doing?
He is Tomb of the Unknown soldiering.
He's fucking marching.
Yeah, with the shiv that you guys gave him.
I'm so
Back and
proud of
forth.
him, but also, God,
In
this is
front of-
gonna suck so much.
The opening.
I think we should have Hugo take a step outside.
I think you're right. It's the least we can do after everything. Okay.
I'm sorry. What is happening? Who is this Edgeworth?
I think
So-
the more important question is, do you want to stretch your legs to get out of this cage? See the sun? It is only...
Yeah, it's.
Oh, it is. Let's see. You guys. It is about 4:06
AM or PM? PM?
p.m. Yeah, you guys got here in the
AM.
afternoon.
I listen.
We've been here
I
for
don't
12
know.
hours.
I don't fucking know anything. We waited a while.
We also need to gather heads, perhaps.
I mean, I got one, but we definitely need to grab it. Okay,
Mhm.
so let's pack this up for right now, or do you want to leave it here? I guess we're staying here, right? So we're fine to leave it.
I would
I'd
rather
like-
stay up, not
there?
in the basement.
Not here. Okay.
I agree with that. The room above is a bit more amenable, and I would prefer to pack up all of this up as soon as we can in case we do need to make a quick exit.
I'll slap the bag of holding on the table. Anything, you know what this is. I would assume anything that's more valuable and most likely to be tracked should go in here. Anything that doesn't fit, we could pack out.
All right.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I'll take out the tents and the hammocks to make some space.
Okay.
I'll strap those on my nonsense. Just...
Does the bag of holding have a square footage on it or a poundage?
It has,
Four
It has a
square
weight
feet.
limit.
Or
It's-
4 cubed feet,
hold on,
I think.
2 feet in diameter at the mouth.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. The bag has an interior space considerably larger than the outside, blah, blah, blah. 2 feet in diameter at the mouth and 4 feet deep. The bag can hold up to 500 pounds, not exceeding a volume of 64 cubic feet.
Damn.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah,
big.
So
it-
8 by
it'd be-
8.
No,
No, that's not right.
4 by 4 by 4.
Yes, thank you. Okay. And do you have much in there in the way of large things?
I
right now?
have the one shelf of books from the hags, I have. Oh, here we go. Okay. I have a scroll case that had some stuff in it at some point. I had the carved rod from the dragon thing. I have a cask of wine. I have the coats. I've got fishing tackle, no longer a grappling hook. I have a grumpy shield and sword. I have a lamp, a pearl, 50 feet of rope, the stone with the hourglass, and then the tent and the 2 hammocks. But we could take those out if we need to.
I think
You
also
can
take out
pack.
the cask.
You can pack up everything here.
Okay.
There are several shelves of books, but it's probably like maybe 200 pounds of stuff, and you should be good on the rest. And volume-wise, you're fine.
Even with the tent and everything.
Yeah, it might be a little packed in there, but
Well,
I can carry the tents at least. I'm fine with that. I should be able to anyway.
Okay. So are some of you starting to load that right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Absolutely.
I'll
Okay.
help load, but I'm looking through. I'm scanning each piece of paper that I pick up.
Are you looking for anything in particular?
Things pertaining to what I'm looking for, or if there's anything that would catch my eye for my particular condition, if anything starts to ring a bell.
Okay. Well, I will give you the summary of what you see.
Okay.
Because I have that. A lot of very old books and scrolls heavily themed around the Elder Age and also before in the Divine Age even, though all of that is theoretical because none of it was being recorded by mortals. All of this being before the Reclaiming, which is the start of Year 0 in the current Antharan calendar. Studies on the creations and foundations of magic on Faenir, which obviously checks out with what Hugo mentioned.
I was asleep, so I caught none of that.
True.
I'm just looking.
Studies on access to and the wielding of Arca, which you would understand those sources, the source types. A lot of theoretical stuff about it as well, which without diving into it, you wouldn't be able to get much, but you just see a lot of theorization about magic, its sources, its uses, access to it, etc. Research and philosophical treatises on the elders and the gods and the relationship between the two, as well as each of their relationships with magic on Faenir. A collection of books on the elder relics or on ancient relics of some kind, general relics, items of massive magical power from what you can briefly glean. You recognize, I will say, actually roll a history check.
History, that's a 13.
Okay, that's enough. You recognize at one point a name of an author, Dr. Orlin Thallis, from the Arathis Academy, which is why you recognize the name, because you've done work around there. Called, I'm just going to put it in the chat, because it's going to be very hard for you to type out that quick. Arca, Sources and Accessibility, an examination
Jesus
of the
Christ.
availability, acquisition, and impartation of magical potential.
Wasn't that Ashwing Beckett?
Sounds like something Remy referenced in her letter.
Oh, yeah.
Footnotes.
And adventure.
Her works cited.
Yeah, exactly. We're excited.
Nothing that particularly addresses, at least from your brief scan of titles and book bindings, your situation.
All right.
You guys load all that up?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Did you want me to take the... You had 2 tents in there? Or
Did
was
you say it all fit?
Yeah.
Including the tents?
okay.
Then
Yes.
yeah, I would. That would be like if it starts hitting the like, then I would pull the tents out. But no,
Yeah, you
It's-
don't quite hit that.
Two hammocks and a tent is what I
Based
have.
off what you're able to gauge, just eyeball, as you go, you probably have a little bit of space left still in the bag of holding, but this is using up a lot of it now.
Has he attuned to the amulet at this point, and is it registering his heartbeat? I know he hasn't really had time to focus on it.
We will say, yeah, it's you guys have been talking, and I will actually say that he's probably not helping you load. He's maybe organizing as you go more than anything, but that's a small task that can be done on a short rest as well. So I will say that through this time, yes, he attunes.
Okay.
And you see it adjust its... You have a companion that needs to be...
Remy had a companion, and apparently a very large practical joke. She sent us with apparently a sentient shrub. Is really the best way I can describe it.
His eyebrows raise very high.
He's got a personality and wants to go on an adventure. He may have gone through one or two very dangerous scraps on the way up here. He wants to feel very included.
All right.
So we told him to protect you when you came outside, because we thought we were going to have you outside first. So he's kind of waiting for you to show up out there.
Am I going out there to bring him in?
Let's see what he does, I think.
Yeah, it was kind of up in the air at that point.
Should we make sure that he does not attack him?
I mean,
knows.
He
Give him a
he knows who
description.
to look for. Yeah.
I may not be my daughter's, but I think I could handle a shrub.
He has a very pointy stick.
He does have a very pointy stick. He's about, it'll like measure out how big he probably doesn't even make it that much.
Hugo raises his hands and you just see shink.
I mean, it can't be worse than the lightning.
That is correct.
Or the fire, or whatever else he got struck by.
There's definitely some lightning involved.
Mhm.
Anyways, yeah, if you could go out there and
Address
help a
him.
little bit, just a little,
All right.
just a little bit.
This has been a droll and colorless past few weeks. I could use a bit of a smile.
I think you'll enjoy it.
All right, he's outside the front.
Mhm.
Yes, all the way up.
All right.
If he's going, we're all going.
We're just gonna
Yeah.
trail. I'd say like 30 feet, whatever like the limit is, basically, within
Okay.
reason, behind him.
Okay. Are you guys going? Is someone or is Ted going to stay in a place where you can see what's happening?
Oh, good question. Yeah, I'll leave Ted so you can see what's happening.
So at the front.
Yeah.
Oh, Leah has returned
Yeah.
in a sweatshirt.
It's fine.
Heck you, Quell DeVille.
Okay.
She's doing her best.
Okay. You guys make your way up, and when you begin to see daylight through the crack in the door that was left, you see Hugo sort of crouch down into a somewhat stealthier stance.
What's Hugo's stealth style?
Oh yeah.
He's stealthy?
He is stealthing. It is Panther-esque, but with less grace than certainly Luna. And you can tell that he is a librarian or a book person, but that there is somewhere in his lineage the natural kinship to this sort of thing.
Librarians are stealthy in their own way. It's
A true! They are proficient in stealth. That's facts. And he clambers his way up. Okay, hold on. I'll roll against myself here. Oh my god!
But I think we kind of need it at this point. Just kind of.
Hugo rolled a natural 20.
Yes!
Let's go.
You see him get up to the crack, and then you, Ted, primarily, you guys wouldn't be able to all see this, but Ted sees the shape of Edgeworth marching back and forth. And then you see Hugo kind of take a deep breath and stumble out.
No.
Look down.
He's such a dad, yes!
Edgeworth looks up. Who? Ah! We, away! And Hugo, my daughter, though, do you know where she is? Yes, inside, there's a battle happening, and I'm to, I get you to safety. Come! And he starts marching off. Hugo just watches him for a moment.
Eclipse has war flashbacks to being a child.
Yeah. Lets him get a good 15 feet. Small shrub. Edgeworth turns back.
Forgot to tell him his name.
You're not coming. We need to move quickly.
Yes, Edgeworth.
He looks inside at the rest of you
Eclipse
and
is
like gives a
probably
nod.
doubled over at this point.
What the frick do I do? We're all just like,
Thumbs upping.
We're like, go.
Like around the corner, like,
Yeah.
Okay. You know what? I'm gonna roll.
I'll
You did
press
thumbs up,
digitation,
Cliff.
like the sounds
up,
of battle from inside
Okay.
the...
You hear those sounds echo out, and you see Hugo turn and then look back towards Edgeworth. I'm sorry, my small friend. I can't leave my daughter and her friends here. And he extends his claws and then goes running back inside.
Based.
Yeah,
I am
boy.
watching Edgeworth. What the
Yeah.
hell does he do?
Edward's probably panicking, bro. Oh my.
It's his first.
They did not tell me
this
what to
didn't
do
go
about
according
this.
to plan. What do I do?
Going to die.
You see a good 10 seconds of utter shock and confusion. Can't really read the face too much because there isn't one, but just an unmoving,
Dial-up noise.
and then looks down at his small shiv and comes charging back in.
Oh my god,
Oh,
he's
yeah.
going in.
Yes!
And as soon as he enters, sees all of you.
I'm gonna fumble out to meet my dad and just, okay, we're good.
Where are they?
They're thankfully
Are they invisible?
gone. No, we're good. We're good.
What?
You did it.
I
Did
did?
you- And I'm gonna gesture. That's. I mean, yeah.
I tried to tell him. He didn't listen.
I mean, he looks safe to me.
I am. Right then.
Well done, Edgeworth. Thank you.
I am. Indeed. Well done yourselves, it would seem.
I think Brightwing is behind Yasnip,
Oh.
just going like this, trying not to like laugh or anything.
Do I have a passive deception? Like, can I...
Like she's like, I can't be a part of this. I'm gonna give it away.
like, like up
Yeah.
on the wall.
I mean, to be fair, we haven't really like healed at all. So
No,
we
there
do
is
look
still like a pool of
fucked
blood
up.
down
I
the front
have
of my
15 hit
chest.
points, y'all.
Yeah,
Riley
you
just
guys are
looks
not in great shape.
Yeah, nothing.
No.
Nothing looks good. We're definitely
black
playing.
eye.
Yeah, there's nothing good going on.
At least one of us looks exactly like Jess right now.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
it's me. I look like me
Yeah.
under the fur. Look fucked
Does
up.
does this mean that we were victorious?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks to your vigilance out here.
Most excellent. Well then, I think a celebratory thing is in order.
Yes. So, we're
Would
actually
you like
gonna-
a druid craft? I don't know.
I don't think that I took much in the way of damage. It was harrowing indeed. There was a hawk at one point that I was quite sure was the eyes of some great foe. But I scared it away. And
I'm so proud of him.
I'll take out my little flask and like pour some whatever's in the flask on his roots.
Yeah, get that water in there.
Okay.
We'll give him some water. Spritz.
Oh, it's not water.
oh
And not
boy.
water.
He's
All right.
gonna get wasted.
Can plants get drunk?
We're gonna find out.
Someone Google it. Google.
Okay.
Plants are drunk. I'm pretty sure.
He kind of takes a moment. That's quite warm.
We've introduced him to alcohol. Oh, no.
I like it. Perhaps more during the celebratory thing.
I can't believe this.
Oh no. We now have a
Made him
plant
an
with an alcohol
alcoholic.
problem.
I can't believe we've done this.
And that is
Can't.
where we'll take our break. Bringing it back in. You all in the small tunnel with Edgeworth now in tow and having drunk. What would you all like to do?
Sleep.
Yeah, I think we were going. Are we going outside or are we sleeping up here? Like in this tunnel? Because I thought we were going to camp outside
Well,
of this whole thing.
Of the whole thing.
I'm still interested in finding other things they may have used.
I'm sure there's a lot of stuff still here.
We know that
we're
they
not
had that.
leaving, but we can.
I understand, but if we do sleep on the top floor of the building, might be best. Thorough search. If Hugo is believing that nobody's coming to see him.
That's not the impression I got, at least.
Oh, how are they going to get the information you were researching for them?
I don't know. Perhaps when I finished, they would have taken me further. Or perhaps I was being watched the whole time. I can't be sure. I do know no one should go down there without that orb. Just in case, at least until we can check.
Maybe after a day or two, it'd be good to have the orb on Hugo.
And you left the lipstick on.
I know I left the lipstick on. That doesn't come off as easily. It's not water soluble, okay? It's Revlon.
Oh my gosh.
We just looked up and realized.
Revlon.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
Maybe he's born with it.
All right. I could prepare dinner if you would like to look around, and then we could settle.
Back down we go.
Mr. Hugo, do you have preference?
Dinner.
Mr.
Something hearty, if it's possible. I don't know if it really is, given where we are. But I've been mostly working off bread and stew.
Hardy. Alright.
Is the jerky we have, has it gone bad by now?
It's jerky.
It's jerky.
Yeah, it's good.
It's
dry.
been like-
It'll last for like a year.
Is
Listen.
there fish in the pond? It's like an after waterfall.
Oh, that was days ago.
No, we're behind
No,
a,
no, no,
a
On the map, there was like a waterfall.
Oh,
Oh.
yes. No,
Yeah.
there are no fish in
No
there.
fish in there. Okay.
No.
That is some stagnant ass water.
I'm
Yeah.
just asking.
It's
I
more,
guess-
by the way, of a trickle than a full-blown waterfall, despite what
Okay.
the map shows.
I guess I'll go with somebody and maybe scavenge some food. If there's an animal, we can maybe hunt it.
No one is going anywhere without all of us.
Yeah.
Oh,
we are
that's true.
grouped up.
I can make it taste like anything.
That's true.
Presentation. Okay, I'll try to make the best I can with what I got.
Okay, do me a favor and roll an investigation check of the supplies. If you want to get help, you can.
Oh, that's right.
Help.
There were supplies down in his cell.
There are
Yeah.
supplies, yes.
I can check upstairs too.
I'm looking for that portal rod.
Yeah.
Okay, roll an investigation check as well.
That's correct.
Faye, you're looking upstairs for foodstuffs or for just anything?
I would say that I'm looking for food, but if anything else looks interesting, then I'll
Okay.
share.
All right.
Oh.
So, I'm glad I got advantage because I rolled
Hmm.
a 2 on my first roll.
Ew.
And then a 19 on my second roll.
Okay, for a
Oh.
total of.
Investigation.
Mm-hmm.
Pause.
Ends up
I
being
think-
gold.
22.
It's either a
22.
19. No, I think it's just a 19.
Yeah, you have a negative strength, but you don't have a negative intelligence.
I'm pretty sure.
I got a 16.
Regardless, it's somewhere between 18 and 20.
Yeah.
And the DC is not that high, so it's fine. You got a 16, Faye?
Mm.
Okay. I will say that the two of you managed to pull together a smattering of food items that by no means will make a fresh feast. But given what Faye can do with magic, and Brightwing, you were able to make some hearty, soupish, stewish things out of what is there.
make herbs.
You also can make herbs, yep. You guys are able to make a pretty solid dinner. Nas, you do some exploring and opening of crates and chests. And find, in total, among interesting things, you find a bunch of like equipment, like shovels and picks and things like that lying around, rope, all kinds of random stuff. But standout things you find 120 platinum and 450 gold. You find 4 potions of healing and 2 potions of greater healing. And you find both an immovable rod,
Fuck yeah.
which you would recognize, and a different rod with gems on either end of 2 differing colors that you would understand from the description to be
We got the portal gun.
the
Hey,
Geiger
they're-
portal rod.
Go!
Hell yeah.
Immediately, we
Was
shoot
a
one up, we
triumph.
shoot one down, jump in. Go.
Immediately die.
There's no way to get out of that without
Fine.
dying.
Anyways.
And then you guys eventually convene with a meal prepared, probably in that chamber above, where there is a table. You can bring some chairs up from down below. Maybe even bring up another table if you need it, based on size. Anything you'd like to do during dinner or after?
We make sure Edgeworth has water.
Okay.
Mhm.
To balance out the alcohol
To
you're
balance.
also giving him?
In addition, yeah.
Okay.
Kind of just making sure he's properly taken care of.
I'll put like really good fertilizer, like with the extra herbs, like munch it up in my herbalist
Okay.
stuff, and like put it in there with his
Yep.
fertilizer.
Get him properly taken care of.
Okay.
I think while we're doing everything, Eclipse is probably writing out on a separate piece of paper a report of sorts as to the tracking, how we got up here, kind of roughly where we're at, how long it's taken, all things considered. And then she kind of gets to like close to finding him in the report, and she just kind of taps the pen on it a couple times, takes a bite of food, taps the pen a little more. So I have up to Darza basically, but what I'm thinking is we could send this back to the inspector, and I'll kind of hand it out to everybody and just... We don't confirm we found him.
We
Just
just say we found evidence of their having been here. Do we even tell them that we've killed the assassins?
No.
This is for Kovac?
Yes. Because...
Do we tell Rylus that we've killed the assassins?
Yes.
I think that might be an in-person conversation. We might
Yes.
have to make our way up there.
This is more... She kind of looks at the paper again. We sent Darza with our word, so I'd like to at least give him the chance to have something, but not
More
everything.
concrete. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, and he
And
doesn't
if-
know what's happened here, so he can't confirm any of it.
Also
Exactly.
throw a possible wrench into it. It's going to take him weeks to get there.
Right.
Do we want to send this today?
Well, it doesn't have to be right now. It's just more of a thought that if we can get the story right, which, and she kind of taps on the paper, I'm very thorough about this. So it's pretty consistent. And again, I don't know how detailed you want me to be. This is mostly just the path. I don't think anybody would be able to find their way up here, honestly.
No. Not unless you
So-
knew exactly where you were headed. I
So I can omit things, I can be more vague. I'm used to documenting this, but I want it to be as authentic as we can. Without sounding like we're purposefully leaving anything out.
Is the intent to not go back to Alea? To not have Hugo go home?
Like I said, if we can magically tell my family that he is okay, and have them continue as normal, like he is still missing, that would at least give them some peace of mind. Even if they have to put on a charade, I would so much rather know that they know he's okay.
mhm.
I would feel that to be necessary, not an option.
Mhm.
I'm not going to leave my wife, daughter, in the dark.
And they're very capable. As long as he's not there, or they don't know, they should still be safe.
Yes, if he goes back, it puts your whole family in danger again.
Exactly. So, right now,
I think for Kovac, we only need to explain up to what happened when we had recruited Daza to go back. Anything after that doesn't matter for them right now.
Perhaps you could say, we'll now investigate where he said to go. And that's where
Timeline
we
would
left
add
off.
up. Right.
I could always message Daza and make sure that he knows what information is safe to withhold. So for his safety, do not say about your prior employer or whoever they were to him.
This name you keep mentioning, is that the young man?
The really squirrely
That's
scared
tiefling.
one.
Yeah. I didn't
When
think it
did he
right
join
to
up
do
with you all?
anything.
He was here when we arrived.
Okay.
It seemed like he'd been here for some time. I didn't interact with him much, though.
Was he just supposed to take care of you?
No, he stayed above. I never saw him after we came in.
Hmm.
I never saw any of them beyond the Iron Hen bringing me meals. Once I was down here. If you... I won't say I defer to your opinion on this. I am my own man and will make my own choice in the end. But if you believe it is less safe to go home, I don't know what my alternative is. Am I going to stay up here in the mountains like a hermit?
No.
No. We would bring you with us wherever we go. We have a powerful friend that we trust in Ilmara. That is
You
an
could
option.
go to my family.
It's not a...
He... I would say you get like a one single cocked eyebrow that is very much recognizing that would be a very different lifestyle than what he's used to just based off what he's known of you. That's in the forests. Correct?
Yes. Very deep in the forest, yes.
I guess I need to understand what is to be gained. Is it merely time? Am I going to live the rest of my life in this way? I don't expect that that I can accept that. I need to see my family. And I have work that I'm dedicated to.
If we could get you somewhere safe, with access to most of your work, we could bring the family to you later. My family has considerable resources. We could set you up somewhere private.
It's going to be incredibly difficult to convince them that the family went on vacation in the midst of a troubling time.
They could just disappear.
That's
I don't know. I'm
also true.
become reclusive. No
Well,
one
that's-
sees her.
If it is into a city, and it's not Olea, that would leave Hockholm, Ilmara, or Sildari. Hockholm, I don't know anything of.
I don't either.
Ilmara is busted.
Did you just say Ilmara is bussin'?
Bustling.
Oh,
and then the immovable rod suddenly became movable.
true.
Dwa.
Well,
Hockholm is the best option if I'm going to continue working, though I don't know how. Running the consortium involves being the consortium and being at the consortium.
Well, I think we need time to research what exactly it is they were looking for from you, and seeing if their interest could have been curtailed by your disappearance.
If you mean, will they stop looking for the answers they sought through me? I think the answer is very clearly no.
No, not that, but looking for you as their only source of those answers. Because what is your other option? To be guarded 24/7, day and night? By whom? By us? If these assassins were their plan A for taking you out, I do not want to see plan B.
What if the fact that the assassins that had killed world leaders were identified as the captors of this individual? Would that not put him under some sort of protection? Ivory God,
wait,
whoever?
hey.
Hmm.
Don't you have family in the guard?
Not in the guard. One of my brothers is in the Kathian army. It's
So,
a little different, but
hear me out. If we used that, and mixed with Naz's plan, that would also give reason for my family to be put into protective custody.
well, I agree. I think that would have to come from more than just my brother's word through communication with me. However, I think that would be something.
I think that would be sufficient enough as a plausible cause to have them put somewhere the same place.
Well, isn't Twilight
Protective custody.
organization? They were researching, investigating the assassination.
But they
were
don't
not?
want to be involved.
They were not publicly involved, which is why we were never on the books as working for
That
them.
is right.
I
If
think
we're seeking protection, unless we have reason to specifically doubt the Ivory God and their capabilities, especially Kovac,
Mhm.
in terms of something the most solid, I think that's our best bet. Otherwise,
it's reasonable at the very least.
we're wishing that he isn't found. And
I
that
don't-
is what it is, because if we hide him somewhere,
Yeah.
there's so many paths that possibly lie to that. One person sees in Ilmara, in Hockholm, it stands out.
I tend to agree. And I also believe that given the nature of these assassins and what they were involved in, but also just The fact that I was kidnapped and am not a man of low standing, shall we put it, acquiring protection will not be difficult. I will require something beyond the Ivory Guard. As I mentioned earlier, I will talk to someone at the Academy about an Arcanist.
Mm-hmm.
But also, this was the product of something highly unforeseen. The fact that the head of a conglomerate of knowledge would be taken is odd. And I don't think it's something we were prepared for in any way. Now we know.
Do you
And
have
they
any?
know we know.
Do you have any peers or anyone that we need to warn? Anyone that you can warn? Anyone from other organizations who have similar access to knowledge?
I will reach out to others like me. But I also believe that they had eyes on what I was learning from you all, and what I was looking into on my end as well. And they saw me as a threat. I think it was
Yes.
two birds with one stone. They removed my eyes from them, and they put my eyes on something that benefits them.
I have fear over what the assassin said.
And she looks to Faye.
That they recognize that you aren't dead. But they knew you as you. But you are invisible.
They have
Faye?
been. Yes.
Roll an intelligence check. Just for the heck.
Straight intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
12.
Okay. That's enough for you to probably put together the pieces that I gave you.
When someone's invisible and they pick something up, it also becomes invisible. When they drop it, it becomes visible. So when I died, I dropped my loot, and they saw that clatter to the floor. They had been spying around the consortium for days. Beforehand, they saw us. They were aware that there was someone of musical inclination within our group. They're smart enough to put those pieces together.
That is my point. They knew who we were.
I don't think they recognized my face.
We
I
were
think
only
they.
in here for the day. And to be fair, a majority of that day, you didn't have your loot with you.
That's true. It was at the.
And the
School.
hag in her cave.
That's the one link that we don't fully have bridged, is the research that was done on the children, the abduction via the Blightlings, and the interaction with these two assassins. We
Brief pause to that. Have you all mentioned in a non-in-game moment that would have occurred over the couple weeks, anything to Sam about all of this stuff that you're bringing up right now, Brian? Okay, you kept her in the dark about all that.
I just don't know that it would have come up. It was.
It wouldn't have.
Right. It's
There's
not
no
like
way
she
we
was
would have had
asking,
time for that.
but you
Yeah.
didn't volunteer it. Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
all of the focus that we had when we met Sam was we were after Hugo.
Yeah.
Right.
Nothing
We
really
haven't
outside
really
of
had
that.
a lot of time to share it.
So Sam, that is the first mention you're hearing of this piece of the puzzle. Sorry, Brian, go ahead.
Wait. What kidnappings?
Children around Kathos. Out of Proward. out of Sawfeld, Raygrove attempts.
Other places were being watched as well, based on some of the papers we found, including places as remote as where Brightwing is from.
Which would be a mention as to
Dossiers.
why we may not feel as safe with hiding in a place like your village, Brightwing. It's already
How
being
long-
watched.
Wait, how long ago was all that?
About a month.
Broward was the most recent, if I'm not mistaken.
2 months then. 2 to 3. We've been traveling for 3 weeks.
Yeah. It's been a while.
And do we know who did that?
Well,
Leads led us to a hag for who that they had gone. We had suspicions on 2 that might be responsible for escort, but nothing concrete. A halfling named Rill and another soulforge named Magnox.
they did successfully abduct a few orphans from there.
Named Freckle and
Halfling
Blue.
girls. Yeah. I would very much like to see them return safely.
Lightning creatures. It was said that the children could see them, but adults could not.
Hmm.
That's where we got this. And I'll pull out the circlet.
Hmm.
As well as
Put this.
It is what I mentioned to you earlier in our conversation when I had asked. Is what I was referring to, but I guess we did not explain. I am sorry.
also interesting enough. Hugo, your research on those symbols, we have another.
Another symbol.
And I will minor illusion the 4 diamond symbol with the hourglass.
Well, I'll pull the rock out of the bag of holding.
That's even
Okay.
better. Thank you.
Yep.
That's what Cyrus said.
Mm-hmm.
This was off of the one that helped them get into your office.
This is the only connection that we had from him specifically to that area. Well, I mean, any of the goings on in that part of the country when we were up there. And he is linked directly to the assassins and to Graves.
And the research of the children.
Yes.
It was his disgusting focus.
The halfling wore this symbol as a pendant, and there was other symbols on the children's paperwork we found in the hag.
Mm-hmm.
Do I get a read on Sam?
Sure, roll an
How
insight
is she
check. Sam.
reacting?
What would I do? Just my demeanor.
Yeah, I won't have you roll, but you'll determine what he gets with this roll.
Okay.
That is a 14 insight.
Unless you're actively trying to mask or in some way withhold how you're feeling, relatively surface with that roll, what does he get?
She's like half dissociated, but she looks very upset and is just like processing information that's being said. And she just looks like the most deep-seated anger. But that's about it.
With a passive 19, would I get any more?
No. Not
Okay.
more than that.
I'm gonna look at Hugo before I look over at Sam. Sam? Any whispers in the streets?
No.
Roll an
It's
insight check.
genuinely just a passing, like, I don't want to out you in front of my dad right now, but like just want to know if you know anything.
Can I ask a visual question?
Okay.
Do I know what race Sam looks like?
I think you said she appeared human.
She does.
Mostly human, yeah.
Roll a. I'm gonna say a history check for you.
Would this
Also,
be at advantage because of street smart? Because if it's from
It's
travels.
pretty
learning
distant.
about people. Is it people or places or both?
So the street smart aspect is.
I need to have this written down in front of me at all times because you use
do
it so
too.
much.
Street smarts.
You have advantage on
Street.
history intelligence checks to recall information from my travels. If I was trying to relate her to
Okay.
a person that I've
Yes.
seen.
Yes, you would. Yep, you would have advantage. And in the meantime, Sam, roll a d20, add your persuasion or deception, don't tell us which,
Not amazing.
for Brightwing's roll.
It's really good. It's really good.
It's a Brightwing insight check, so it's probably also really good, but we'll see.
That is true. 18.
Okay, Brightwing.
22.
Mm,
It's only
Say again.
It's only a 12 from me.
Okay. Okay. Sam, you can give Brightwing a. This is so. I don't know if I've told you this. This is a useful point, but in my games, just rolling one higher than somebody on a deception check doesn't mean you suddenly like lie detect test them.
Right.
If you destroy their number, you probably pick up pretty much exactly what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
In this case, you rolled really well. She also rolled really well. She might get a slight hint of whatever is behind this. So if there is anything you're withholding, she might just understand that you are withholding something, not what it is or anything like that. So what does she get?
It's mostly truthful, but there is an uncertain, like, slight knowingness. But it's more quizzical and theoretical than anything.
With what I know from what she has told me, would be connecting to that sort of dot.
Perhaps.
Okay.
That's up to Brightwing, really.
Yeah.
With a 12, there are bits and pieces of her bone structure, the way her eyes slightly glitter a little bit more than normal, that give you a sense maybe she's not fully human, but you're not sure exactly what.
I think at this point, everyone just kind of looking over at her, heard that anger kind of bubbles up, and she just stands up and walks out of the room.
Okay.
Don't.
60
Don't
feet.
go far.
Hey.
Take your time, but that's all I'm asking. Don't go far.
She's already out the door.
How far do you go?
It's a great question. She probably goes to the mouth of this little hallway.
Okay.
Can I see the bag of holding a moment?
Sure.
I'm gonna reach in and pull out the dossiers,
Okay.
and I'm gonna walk out after Sam.
Okay.
I figured you should know. Considering
What?
you've been with us for a little bit. You don't have to say anything to me that you don't want, but I would like you to observe these as we have. In your own time. And I will hand the dossiers to her.
What are these?
He hands you several pieces of paper. Each of them is a dossier, more or less. It has a small drawn picture and then some descriptions of the of children. Each one is an individual child. Different races, different places. The places are mentioned. There are brief mentions of observation of small signs of magic from them, and details on where they are. Do you flip through them?
Yeah.
After giving them to her, I am walking back inside.
Okay. You flip through them. Probably fighting a growing concern. Get to the last one. Cycle back through them again. You don't recognize any of them.
Probably just being paranoid. Do it a couple more times.
Okay, you do. None are mentioned in Leah. Though there is one of what appears to be Brightwing's race, which is not far from Leah. The location is the Ethesian Forest. And that's interesting to you because you know very little of those people and they don't cross paths with larger society very often. But a few more times through, you are sure you don't recognize anybody in these dossiers.
About how many kids are documented on these?
Wee. Hold on. 8? Do you have the
8?
notes on them in front of you?
I have some to well, actually, I might have them right here because
You had taken out 2.
One
Right
was
Wing had the
missing.
one.
Yeah. Yeah, there's 8. There is Freckle Blue. The Ethesian did you put that one back in, Brightwing?
No, I had mine.
Oh.
So 7 then.
Okay, so you don't actually see the Korean girl.
Freckle Blue, an Ardkel named Rausch, a small gnome. The Ardkel was from Westmarch. A small gnome I don't have from where. A preteen shifter girl, not that one. And I don't think that we even ended up getting the descriptions of the other 3.
Yeah, we only got a couple.
The others are the 4 from Proward. The small gnome is Wigan.
Okay. So the 3 from Proward, because Clayson's not in it.
Right.
Okay.
You took that.
So
And Greyclaw is
yeah.
not in it. So Freckle and
see
Blue.
a little redhead girl who kind of looks like Brave, whatever her name is.
Merida?
Yeah. A white rabbit folk girl.
Crazy.
Yep, and a small gnome boy who looks to be the youngest. Let me check something real quick.
4.
Rausch is 4.
Yeah.
Freckle and Blue.
Freckle and Blue is 5 and 6. 7 is Ethesian
Greyclaw.
Forest. 8 is Clayson. So maybe it's just 6 then.
Oh, you're numbering them, not giving the age.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't get ages.
Wigan looks to be the youngest, and the age is actually noted at 6 years old. The rest of them look a little bit older. although all within a few years of that.
Okay, so roughly about 6, 7, 8-year-olds?
Yeah.
Okay. So can I discern how long ago these were written? Hard
Roll
to
an
say.
Investigation check.
I think I had tried that too. I don't recall.
It's a pretty
Natural
high
19 for
A million.
a 29.
Oh my. Okay.
Get that forensics.
You are somewhat familiar with dossiers like this because you have had missions involving things like this, and you are able to assess, put a couple pieces together, inspect the ink and the paper, and get the sense probably within the last 6 months at most.
Okay.
Fairly recent. Not within the last couple weeks, but not more than 6 months.
Okay. Just kind of hold them. Just take a breather.
Okay. Back inside.
Did Hugo have any kind of a reaction to hearing us talk about like the events of leading up to the day that he was taken? Because he was knocked out for a lot of it. So we talked about like specifically about the invisibility and about like
whether he knew anything about what had happened.
Yeah, because we were like, yeah, when you died, and like, and then there was like, there was a lot of conversation about that. So did he perk up at that at all?
Yeah. No. Based off his story and the way he reacts, which is somewhat vacant, you get the sense they probably knocked him out very quickly and then did a bunch of what they had been doing, set up the portal, etc. afterwards. Trying to decide how this would play out here. Brightwing.
Yes?
Knowing casters of your kind, I'm trying to put pieces together. And he holds up the sending stone. You have the ability to somewhat improve to guide my thoughts, perhaps.
Oh, yes, I can. If you require the assistance.
I feel like I'm close, but not quite there, and I could use every bit.
Yes, I can help. I will cast guidance.
Okay. You release the magic, and he takes a moment, kind of closes his eyes, thumb working the carving in the stone.
He has a sending stone?
Not that he had, that he was just given.
That's a sending stone?
You would recognize that. You would have recognized that.
We did not recognize it the first time. We were told that it was just a stone that had a arcane glyph carved into it.
You may not have normally recognized it, but earlier that day, I feel like I said this, but maybe not. Earlier that day, you saw, or the day around that time.
Oh, yeah. Because we talked about using the sending stone and just being like, hello, and we were like, nope.
Yes. Yeah, you knew it was a sending stone.
Okay.
He eventually hands it back. They feel related, but I don't know how.
To what?
The symbols to each other.
Oh.
I mean, they're similar enough to obviously be related.
Right. I don't know how is the problem, and I feel like that answer is rather important.
Well, we all have tired minds right now, tired bodies.
Yes. Tomorrow, if we are able to, I can talk to one of our, points to the bag.
I don't think we've harvested the heads yet.
Mm-mm.
We could while we're talking about it.
Hmm.
One
But
of them
also-
still hasn't had their spine ripped
The
out yet.
problem with this spell, I've never really used it before. It's a bit more necromancy, but it just houses what the memories of the corpse had. So it will remember us as hostile creatures. And they are not obligated to tell truth.
Do they have to see you to talk to you?
Do they have to see me?
Rules is written? I do not believe so. But if they're just hearing a disembodied voice, you don't know how forthcoming they're going to be about that either, I will say.
Yeah.
Or to that.
Could it be Nas standing in front of them looking like Cyrus or something? And you asking them questions?
Going
Him pantomiming?
to stare at Faye right now. In not a good way.
Hmm.
You want me to talk like Cyrus?
And then you'll see his eyes look at Hugo.
I've
He's
got-
looking at you.
Under magical means.
Well, I've got all this makeup and stuff. I just figured he was the only one among us that would be able to pass as someone else. The rest of us
Roll
are
a
all fairly obvious.
Deception check with disadvantage.
With disadvantage!
Yeah,
That's
that
right,
was
exactly.
a-
That would be like it'd be under magical means.
You are the most charismatic person here, and that was you putting it onto Nas doesn't necessarily make sense.
With disadvantage, it's a 25.
Oh my gosh! You know, let's just roll for fun, shall we?
I was trying to imply that since we're doing it tomorrow, it could be under magical means anyway. So
Mhm.
like, that should help.
I am going to say that the wording of the spell, which repeatedly uses the phrase "you can ask the questions," will require that Brightwing is the one speaking.
We could just cover you in coats. You could look like a pile of blankets talking.
I mean,
I don't know how all that would work. I'm not much of the performer. Like you
I'm gonna
are.
look at Sam.
I'm still outside.
I'm also outside.
Okay. Well, I'll look at the door then.
Hmm.
Sam left out of.
Mhm.
We do have somebody that wanted answers.
How much are we able to get out of these creatures?
Well, I can only do one per day. I'm not that powerful. And I can only do it once per 10 days per corpse.
God, that's a lot of math. Okay.
I don't use math.
And what does that get us?
Oh, I'm sorry. About the 5 questions.
Is that
So,
anytime anybody asks anything? Or
I think that
I'm
would be a
not
question.
sure when it.
shit?
Do they count as a creature, or are they considered an object now?
Yeah, we're wondering that. If I cast Zone of Truth, Matthew, is
It is an object right now
Okay.
because the wording of the spell calls it a corpse repeatedly, rather than calling it a creature because it is a dead object. So it is not a creature.
So you can't Zone of Truth the corpse.
And I can't
No.
magically
no, 'cause it's not a
compel.
No,
Creature, a corpse.
you
Yeah.
cannot compel it amidst the Speak with Dead.
Right.
Okay.
Well,
I think Sam deserves 2 of those questions.
I agree.
I guess we could spend the night teaching me to lie better.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna be.
Yep.
I mean, yeah.
I don't.
Do you want to lie?
I don't like lying. But as you said many months ago, there is a purpose for it in cases such as this.
For what it's worth, I feel your competence in lying might not be as important as the nature of the lie. No matter how well you pass it off, what reason are you going to be able to give them to give you information?
I don't know.
Or what can you appeal to draw it out of them, perhaps?
They certainly have no sense of humanity.
It could be a route. We could simply just be ourselves and see where that gets us.
We did beat them.
Maybe they have-
We could assure them that nobody would ever find their bodies, and they could be living on in legend. The assassins that were never caught.
He seemed very, very, very angry that he did not finish the job with you, Faye.
Well, to be fair, he did finish it the first time around, just not permanently.
A broken pride.
That's not the one we're speaking to.
We're not speaking to that one.
The other one
Didn't talk.
didn't talk.
Is that a problem?
I never heard him speak either. I don't know that it does.
The Iron Hand does not speak.
Not that I ever witnessed.
Damn train. Well,
Maybe he knows sign language.
maybe it
But he-
communicates differently. Regardless.
Could- Yes, no questions.
That's a good question, Matt. Could they use functions like fine motor skills?
Well, the Umber Blades certainly can't because you removed his head from his body.
Oh, I did that with the Iron Hand.
No, Iron Hand. Umber Blade's
I ripped
intact.
the Iron Hand's head off.
Yeah.
The Iron Hand.
Yeah.
Maybe he knows spine language.
I'll fucking
Boo!
Wow, Brian is on one.
Brian!
You guys gotta tell me before I rip the other guy's head
I'm
off.
gonna
'cause I'll
drive
fucking-
over there and fucking glitter bomb you.
Bring it!
Oh my god. He glitter bombed himself. Did you see his face?
True.
Facts.
It is possible. You're not 100% sure because you have not cast this spell before. And you haven't seen it cast very often either. It's not commonly used.
I don't think it's really ever used. Is the thing.
It is very, very rarely used among your people.
Not a spell people look on very fondly to.
I can't even imagine. I mean, I can, but I can't. Alright, we'll talk to Sam. Since Sam has deserved these 2 questions, which one she wants to talk to the most, because she seemed to know them a little better.
This is something that will happen tomorrow.
Yes.
It'd have to.
Alright,
I can't do it today.
understood.
So from here, where are we going?
That is the pressing question.
We had said Hulk home.
Yeah. I think we need, personally, to take the protective custody route.
Do you
We
know
have to
where
accept
we?
the fact we're not gonna hide him.
Do you know where we are in the range?
Pretty rough idea.
East of Olea, south of Ilmara?
I think we're east of Ilmara at this point. I think we're further north. We've curved up and through.
How far we are will determine whether going to Hawkholm or going back is quicker.
Well, that is
Have
the
you got a
one
map?
that's been,
I do. I have a map.
Okay, you pull it out.
Have we roughly established this already? I think we kind of talked about it a little bit.
Yeah,
I
we should
think
have.
we said just going back through the mountains might be faster.
If we
Right.
were going to Alea.
Right.
No, yes, we're going straight to Alea.
We
If
had
were.
also talked to Darza, and he said that he had spent time near Hawkholm, and he didn't know how to get there, but that it wasn't terribly far, and that there were other little villages.
the main thing is back to Olea, we know that path.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the advantage.
Eclipse, you lay the map out?
Yep.
Okay. I will have somebody, you can either choose one of you or it can be Hugo, roll a investigation check, not including Sam because she's not here, with advantage from everybody pitching into figuring it out.
I have the primer.
I
The
think it
primer
needs to
just
be
gives
one of us.
advantage.
No, the primer gives me plus a d4.
I've got a plus
So
8.
plus.
Can add up guidance.
Yeah, that's probably better for you.
It's basically the same.
So with advantage and guidance.
Yeah. Guidance.
If Matt allows it, because guidance,
Yeah.
not a long.
Well,
Well.
it was a natural 20,
Wow.
plus 8, plus 3.
Oh,
Damn!
hey.
30.
31.
31.
31.
Plus 2 as in 2. Oh, no, you don't have the primer. Okay.
Right.
That's too much. You can't do that. You can't do that.
31.
31. Also, it bears mentioning, Jess, that we have transferred that over to Brian, the game that Brian runs in a different server now.
Yes! I
Yeah.
spread the good word.
Yeah,
Connor would be so proud.
that's done.
Okay.
21.
You, it is a back and
Regret the
forth. It's
word.
not like you point at the map, but there is a back and forth where with Hugo, with you guys, you kind of talk through the journey, where he woke up, how long since then, and you.
How'd you guys get up the
pinpoint-
cliff?
He doesn't know. He wasn't awake for that.
We
But
know.
you can summarize he Fezzik up the cliff.
Iron Hand went up, and then they did the portal thing. They had to do it.
You guys are you on the map? Oh no,
we
you're not on
can
the
do
map.
it. We don't have to
No.
freaking deal with climbing anymore.
I will put you on the
Oh,
map.
also with that, with the question of the cliff, popping that rod on the table.
Yeah,
Which rod?
you give us that the second I take Dimension Door, buddy.
Portal rod.
Oopsie poopsie.
Hey, but this is.
This is much different from Dimension Door.
This
I
is
get to-
more people.
I could use this.
Um,
More
you guys
items
are
would find
around here.
Oh shit.
Oh.
I'm not on roll 20.
Yeah, Jesus.
We're
very
3/4 of the way to Hawkholm.
Through the
Maybe a
mountains.
scooch more. Yeah.
That's what I figured. Yeah.
4/5.
Yeah.
So we're closer to Hawkholm than Ilmara.
Way
Not
closer
Ilmara.
than way
Leah.
close. Yeah, closer than
We're
Ilmara.
closer to Hawkholm than literally anything else.
Okay, cool. That's what I thought. And we got the rod, so we can just zoop down. Not climb anything.
So,
Well, the last person still has to detach the rod, but yes. Or do you mean the portal rod?
Portal
Yeah.
rod.
portal run.
Yes, then the first person has to get it down, but yes. If Hawkholm is the answer, and then beyond there is a next step, I do know Headmaster Quillkeek there. It's possible he would let me use their teleportation circle.
From Hawkholm till where?
Wherever we determine is best. That has a circle of its own, of course.
Zilmara?
Yes, it
Most
does.
assuredly.
As does Olea.
Is there an Ivory God presence in Hawkholm?
I believe there is, but there is also a heavy military presence. It is the entryway, if you will, from Sildari into Kathos from the east. And it is externally one of the most well-defended cities in the realm, before internally it is one of the most educated.
At this, I'm going to look at Faye and be like, maybe your brother could beat us, but I'm going to go see if Sam would like to join this conversation.
Yeah, last time I talked to my brother, he was, oh god, like up north? Kind of?
He said he was going to what was more or less the front line of potential conflict. He didn't name a particular city.
Oh. I kind of thought they were further north.
If tensions are high because of these assassinations between the nations, we may also have to weigh the moral aspect of withholding information about the assassins and who they report to.
Well, that's the thing. We will present them to the person who provided them to us to begin with. Whatever
Right,
that
let's-
individual does with that information is... But I think we need to approach it in the same way that we were given it.
I think it's
There's
also
also
important to
some money
note
to be made.
there's no proof that these two were responsible for those assassinations, is there? Not that I know of.
Highly speculatory. But they
Enough.
are the top suspects.
There was enough speculation that it was them that there was a reward price on their heads.
Thank you.
I think a key point was they couldn't be brought back.
A price for information or a price for a bounty?
Yes.
Both.
Not unfair with someone of their threat. If
Yeah, that was the cue though, was that it was the people that were found were unable to have been returned to life. Ice scale being one, and you know, you probably know more about that than we do, but I believe that's what they tried to do to me.
It is not... I won't say it's not uncommon. It is rather uncommon, but it is not unheard of for assassins to use tools like that.
Mhm.
It doesn't necessarily tie things to them. I, for my own records, though you're not beholden to this, would prefer it if one of the questions you ask them might be whether they were responsible. It seems like one they might answer, and it would give quite a boost to several around the realms to know.
Well, and that's the question: is do we want everyone to know that going back to whether or not we make it public that you're returned, do we want them to know that these people have been dealt with? Because do we want, if it becomes public knowledge that they've been dealt with, if we try to keep your rescue a secret, someone of higher authority would infer from that information that you were rescued?
I don't know if it needs to be communicated that they were dealt with, but just knowing that they were responsible could prevent significant conflict.
Right, but you're saying... Your suggestion is
no one
to
needs to know
identify
how
whether or
it
not they
happened.
were responsible and that they are no longer a threat. And to make it public that they are no longer a threat.
I don't mind so much whether that knowledge is leaked. If they are a threat, they are assassins. People know how to deal with them, or at least they know they exist. It's an evil we are all aware of. But knowing for sure that they were responsible, whether they are alive or not, might take the knife from hand and throat.
Oh, you mean in regards to the potential political fallout?
Yeah.
There is great conflict and suspicion over who is responsible still,
Understood.
and the realms are at odds.
I think that is also what Naz was trying to get at.
Yeah, my book was turning a little more slowly than yours, I think. It's been a long day.
That's all information that Rylus would be able to work with, though, yeah?
That's what I meant as well. If we tell
You've
him,
mentioned that
then
name a
he
couple
should
times
be
now.
responsible.
He's
for
our
spreading
contact
that.
with the Shaded Wind.
That we are unaffiliated with.
I see.
Officially unaffiliated.
I believe that if you trust this person, the Shaded Wind would be a very solid place to introduce that information. They are known for being reliable and unbiased.
Yes.
That's why I
Discreet.
That's why I believe telling him first makes the most sense. He can spread the information reliably and believably to stop anything. Coming from us, it won't mean anything.
Would I have gotten Sam by now?
Oh yeah. Well, you would have gotten out to Sam. Let's briefly pause here and go to that. What happens when you get out there?
I don't know. What do I see?
Sam's just kind of like just squatted down to the floor holding these papers, just not looking at them, but just holding them and just staring out into the cavern, like half falling asleep at this point, still very exhausted.
I know your mind must be racing and still pain. But the others are trying to figure out the next step. I thought you would want to be part of the conversation.
Yeah, I just need sleep before I can think.
Should we rest for the night and discuss it morning?
That would be best.
And perhaps we should let the others know. Put a, how you say, needle in it. Yes?
Yeah, a needle in it.
You come back in?
Yep.
Okay. Well, We will have, if we're right about where we are, a couple days likely to get down to Hockholm. That gives us more time to discuss the plan afterwards. Perhaps we rest now.
I don't know if I can sleep after all that.
Well, if it takes some time, and you're willing, I've been sorely missing music on this journey.
Hmm.
I'm quite a fan of song. I imagine you sing quite well.
She does.
Yeah. If Naz will accompany me.
I think the last time that I sang, I scared off a fish. Pull out the drum.
Okay.
I think
What
I'll
do you sing?
kind of come back with one that I had. I don't know if I've done this. I had kind of put something together at one point. I don't know if I did it, but for Eclipse, now that it's come to fruition, there is a woman you should fear. She hails from Olea. You stole her father, now she's pissed. Your ruin soon will come. Kind of keep it bluesy like that, quiet.
Okay. Okay. In the remnants of the assassin's lair, after a decent meal and with a bluesy song, you all have a chance finally to rest. Sam, roll a d20 for me.
I was gonna say I was gonna make more of that melatonin tea.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks. Oh, I fucking need it. Natural 19 with just a d20 or just add anything?
Yeah, I'm adding something, but
Okay.
I'll tell you what.
It's a 19.
You don't know.
I'm adding something. Okay, Matt.
My bad.
Keep
your secrets.
When you first met Faye, her hair was black. It is now faded to more of like a silvery platinum, especially after the lake thing, or the grotto. And as she sings and you are given a slight moment to ease and relax, and it kind of washes over you, there is something very familiar. She reminds you of someone from your past. Someone you met when you were very young. And that's where we'll leave session 47.
Matt taking a page, I see.
What? Interesting.
That's quite
What?
What?
Oh my goodness. It feels good to see.
Anyways.
I can see clearly now.
The shades are gone.
Oh my. Okay. Favorite moments?
Edgeworth.
Brian's costume.
Brian's
True.
costume, like, hands
Yeah.
down. Like,
Yeah.
Megan and Brian fucking killed it.
Yeah.
Like,
We had
Minimal
the joke.
effort. I had to scale it back from last year.
We had a joke where we both technically showed up as Matt.
True.
Matt asked the other day when they were trying to decipher whether or not they had picked the same character. They had a conversation about like, is your character from media or is it from a
that's
TV
right.
show? And you asked if it was from a book, and I said
Yeah.
yes because it's from the
Storybook.
storybook.
Wow.
Facts.
Mhm.
Nice.
Yeah.
Also, I remember today, Brian, correct me if I'm wrong here, you've never watched Breaking Bad.
Yes, I'm uncultured. Thank you.
You've
I
never
also
seen
haven't,
Breaking Bad?
so-
It's a really easy watch if you are concerned about how intense you have to go into it.
Oh no, I can binge watch anything. I haven't.
Haven't.
I will eventually.
It's good.
I'm an
Been saying
uncultured
that for 2
swine.
years.
I know. I didn't watch it until last year, and I was
Really?
like, "Oh, this is fantastic! Yes, I love
Wow.
Breaking Bad now. It's really
Yeah,
good."
I really want to
Excellent.
rewatch it soon.
Haven't found an urge to watch something of that premise, so it's very like hard to find the interest in it.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I still need to watch Game of Thrones. So
Oh, my
Godspeed,
Lanta.
gamer.
Mhm.
I've done that.
Read the books and
Yeah,
just
it's,
take the cliffhanger.
I haven't read anything in like years
Yeah.
outside of
it
school.
might be faster if I'm gonna be honest. I got what I wanted, but that's the most unpopular opinion. Oh well.
I think the RP, just like in general, in this one, there's still tension, and that's the part that is kind of crazy. Is there's still so much tension, but
But we still had a goofy moment. I don't know how
Yeah.
we keep pulling that
Oh,
off.
it's Edgeworth.
But we
Yeah.
really
we have the
like
breaks.
that was so
Hmm
that was such a dad moment. Like
Mm-hmm.
I imagine that's
Okay, I
happened
get it.
before, and he's just
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I suppose I can
Yep.
entertain this, and I was like, please,
Yeah.
for like 5
That-
seconds,
whoa,
please.
that happened every day when you were 3 years old.
Yeah, I was gonna say like
Mhm.
that tracks.
I very much enjoyed lore dumping, as always.
Yeah.
Mhm.
A lot.
I
My
wish
fingers
would've
fell
put-
off typing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
It
got
was
some
so many
vestiges
red
in-
squiggles that I read
really
back
did.
and like corrected
God, that's a
words.
lot. Holy shit.
got some vestiges at play.
I enjoyed doing technical support while listening to your Lord dumping and not paying attention.
True. Yeah, you'll have to read the notes. And I also I enjoyed a roll that happened towards the end there, that Hugo made, where he could have potentially figured something out for you all, but it was a very high DC, which is why he asked for guidance, and he just missed it.
Bruh.
And he has a very high bonus, but I feel like that's probably for the best. So that was
It's
cool.
been a long fucking day. I'm sure you
Yeah.
can click the gears
Yeah.
together at least one more time.
Yeah.
Alright.
I'm excited for the future because we kind of got a glimpse of like the overarching story today with the lore. So I'm excited. Even though I didn't hear much of it. I'm excited nonetheless.
Yep.
I also obviously enjoyed being impersonated quite excellently. So good job, Megan.
I gotta say, I said this off camera, but for the audience, I just couldn't keep it together. Every time I looked at Brian,
Yep.
I would realize
Fucking
it was
It's like you
Brian.
were just
Dangling.
swinging the entire
Seriously. And
That
I
was
just-
intentional too.
Yep.
Every time that I noticed it, it's just like,
So what are we doing next year?
Worry about
good
it
question.
later.
We have a year to worry about it.
Yep. All right. Good game, everyone. Very solid. We will see what comes next because there is quite an open page now.
Didn't even cast Speak with Dead this session.
Nope. I
Ah.
had stuff prepared for whether you went either direction that you went, and you didn't go any direction. So,
We lord
Right.
him.
A lot to talk about.
Yeah.
adios.
No.